You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. The Taylorville CUSD number 3 Board of Education sat down for their regular monthly meeting for September on Tuesday night. All board members were present except for Dr. Ron Miser. Budgets and bonds continued to dominate the meeting agenda, with the proposed budget being passed by a 6-0 vote. This time, the conversation around bonds shifted to working cash bonds. The Board of Education would be able to use these dollars in any established fund. All members were in agreement on a $3.5 million amount and voted to approve the motion 6-0. This item was only the intent to issue the working cash bonds, however, and further discussion will take place in the coming months. Kendall King, CPA for King's Financial Consulting, broke down the working cash bonds for board members and their possible plans for them.
Okay, so tonight on the agenda is a resolution of intent for working cash bonds. There's 3 steps involved in this process. It's the same 3 steps that the board went through to issue the alternate revenue bonds. So it will be a resolution of intent tonight. It'll be a public hearing next month, and then a sale resolution the 3rd month. The first step is to establish authority to sell the debt. After that, we will publish notice in the paper, and then the district has to give you 30 days to without getting petitioned to be able to go out and sell the debt. So the working cash bonds fall under what's called the debt service extension base. This is whatever amount of bonds that the district had on the levy back when they became subjects to tax caps or PTEL back in the 90s. That's all that you can levy going forward for bonds without a referendum. So it's an authority that's already been established, and it increases every single year by the Consumer Price Index.
And after further discussion, the Financial Committee is looking at shorter terms and less money utilized, rather than taking the full lump sum in one payment.
So the idea behind this working cash is it just gives you flexible funding. It could be used for either capital projects or for operating purposes. It's fully flexible. Working cash can go to any fund once issued. What we have on the agenda is $3.5 million. The reality is, after further discussion with Brandy and just kind of, I believe she had some discussion maybe with the Finance Committee, we're suggesting keeping it shorter. So we were thinking anywhere from 0 to 10 years. 10 years would get you to 3.5. If we kept it shorter, around the neighborhood of 3 to 4 years, we're more likely looking at somewhere between $900,000 and $1.2 million, what the district will actually end up issuing. However, once you establish authority to issue, that authority is good for 3 years. So my thinking is, let's go ahead and still establish authority for the $3 million. You sell maybe $1 million right now, and then you can come back in 3 years and you'll still have the authority for the additional 2 that you could come back and sell that if you wanted to keep that going forward. Then that working cash bond would just become kind of a rolling basis. Every 3 to 4 years, you might reissue those bonds, keep them relatively short, and that just kind of maintains your flexibility every year going forward.
The budget saw minimal changes as expected and received a 6-0 vote in favor of approving the motion. Bruley explains those changes that were made and where the approved budget must go from here.
And budget change since the last presentation?
Yes, so since the last presentation that I gave, there are 3 changes to that. We entered the new numbers for the bond and proceed payments into the budget after we received that final paperwork from our agent. The Ed Fund beginning balance was changed based on the auditor's numbers that he provided for us at Matthias. And Title II revenue was not anticipated to come in, and that did come in at a shorter amount than we had previously received, but we did receive some funding there. So the Title II revenue and anticipated expenses were added into the budget. And when you present a tentative budget, you have until the formal adoption to make changes. So that is why the changes have come about. Should this budget be approved tonight, it'll take everyone's signatures on 4 documents because we have to submit it to the auditor, the ROE, county clerk, and the state board of education, and they like to physically actually see our signatures on there instead of just electronically submission to state board.
Bruley would go on to share her superintendent's report before the meeting adjourned. She shared that a very special guest will be making an appearance at the district at the end of the month.
So we started the meeting with some great news from our preschool programs, both in town and in Pana. And then also Mr. Hutchison had reached out to Dr. Tony Sanders, who is our state superintendent through ISB, and checked his availability to see if he would be willing to come to the district so we could showcase some things that were going on at the high school. And we didn't hear from him for a while, but we finally heard back from him, and great news, he is going to come from 12 to 1:30 on September 30th. We invite all of you to come. We reached out to local media to invite them as well. We're pretty excited. They're going to be greeted by the high school band and cheerleaders upon his arrival, and then tour all of the various departments and get updated on our facilities, but also the great programs that we have within Field High School. So he doesn't just come anywhere. So we're pretty proud of that. And thank you, Mr. Hutchison, for taking that initiative to set that up. So
Find out more about the Taylorville School District at tcusd3.org. The next Taylorville School Board of Education meeting will be on October 14th of 2025. Shelby Electric Cooperative, along with CoBank, donated a check for $9,500 through the Sharing Success program to several area groups. Mowequa in Motion received a $9,500 donation towards their Central Park bathrooms, which are in serious need of remodeling. Mowequa Mayor Sean Conlon, along with Teresa Toller and Janet Simmons from Mowequa in Motion, talked a little bit about the donation itself and what it means to Central Park and to the village. Simmons says the project was started just a couple of years ago.
We started this project a couple years ago, and some of our parks needed some renovation. So we decided what projects seemed to come to the top, and we started fundraising. Our community is very, very generous, so we started a town drive to see what we could come up with, and that would benefit both parks. So I've lived here all my life. I don't remember when this facility was put in here in Central Park, so it has to be many, many years. So anyway, our town came together and we raised almost $85,000 to get us started on our projects. And so that fundraiser is ongoing, and we're going to keep moving and grooving and, just bring things up to speed for our community and the children in the community.
Toller says that the project wouldn't happen without the help from Shelby Electric Cooperative and CoBank.
This project wouldn't be happening without your monies. We just didn't have the funds. We had put money into resurfacing pickleball courts, tennis courts, the baseball fields. They've hauled in almost 200,000 tons of dirt to get those up to standard because there just wasn't funds to take care of these things. So it's kind of been a gradual, we just pick projects as they come and try to, help out the park board with the added funds to get the parks back up into a nice shape.
Mayor Conlon says that Central Park has a special place in the heart of Mowequa. The park district only receives a little money every year and needs help to be able to achieve the goals that they have for the parks within the village.
The park district only gets $30,000 a year, and that includes maintenance. The village is actually taken over, and they pay us to mow the parks because we already have the mowers and everything. And so what makes it kind of unique is that our parks are well used. My son the other day, he's helping coach JFL, and he was out there at the North Park, and he said the ball diamonds were being used, the soccer fields were being used, there were kids on the playground equipment, and the same thing here. It's during the school day now, but usually this park is well used. There's always somebody in this park. JFL cheerleaders practice here, and so I think because we're a small town, people still can bring their kids to the park. Kids can come up to the park by themselves, and so nice facilities make it even better.
The mayor says she was motivated to update the bathrooms after a 6-year-old told her that they were, quote, disgusting. Conlon says it feels good to be able to make the repairs that are needed. Find out more information about Mowequa in Motion by visiting them at their Facebook page. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union.
This is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Are you looking for a great CD rate? If you are, TCCU has amazing rates from our 7-month special to our 60-month CD. If you are looking for a great investment, now is the time to put your money to work in a TCCU CD. Our minimum deposit is $1,000. For more information, please contact us at any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Pana, Hillsborough, Litchfield, or online at tccu.org. Dividends will be compounded monthly. A penalty for early withdrawal may be imposed. Fees could reduce earnings on the account. Member NCUA.
The Taylorville Kiwanis Club heard from the co-director of the Taylorville Food Pantry at their Tuesday noon meeting at the Moose Lodge. Pam Moses is co-director with Amy Hagan of the local food pantry and told Kiwanis members the Taylorville location has seen increases in the number of families served over this past year.
As numbers, we still are continuing to average 475 families. But one of the biggest concerns that we're having is the number of new families that are coming through the food pantry. And we have had in the last 10 months, 5 months that have exceeded 50 or more new families that have come in. So they've never been to our food pantry before. Where are they coming from? Well, we're starting to ask those questions, but most of them have been here. Some have moved to town, new people, or moved to the county, I guess I should say. But at the end of the day, there's more people needing the services that are there. The highest was 67 in 1 month.
Moses said with cuts in Link and SNAP benefits, more families are relying on the Taylorville Food Pantry to overcome food insecurity. Moses told the Kiwanis Club many food pantries in the area ran low or ran out of food due to demand. And she said that the Taylorville Food Pantry 5 years ago began an effort to make sure their shelves were always fully stocked. Due to USDA cutbacks, meat is no longer available to the local food pantry, but Moses said that dry foods are still being offered to them. Moses added the Taylorville Food Pantry is still a 100% volunteer organization, with some 80 people working at the location 6 days a week. Kiwanis members remind the public to bring their non-perishable food and monetary donations to the Hart Media Group front parking lot on East Park Street this Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon, as the Kiwanis Club will again hold a drive-through donation day to benefit the local food pantry. The Taylorville Kiwanis Club is part of a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Weekly meetings are held Tuesdays at noon at the Taylorville Moose Lodge. For information on the club, go to TaylorvilleKiwanis.com. The Illinois State Police are reminding drivers and farmers to keep safety in mind on the roads this fall. With harvest season underway, farmers across Illinois will be moving equipment between fields, which means more slow-moving tractors and wide vehicles on highways and rural roads. State police say drivers should allow extra travel time, slow down when they come across farm equipment, and give plenty of space before passing. They added that flashing amber lights mean caution, and orange and red reflective triangles are a signal that the vehicle is moving at much slower speeds. Passing in no passing zones or too close to intersections, bridges, or railroad crossings is illegal and can be deadly. Police also remind farmers to do their part by avoiding busier roads when possible, staying off roadways in bad weather or low visibility conditions, and making sure warning lights and reflectors are clean and easy to see. Farmers are also encouraged to pull over when it's safe to let traffic clear. ISP says, by working together and making safety a priority, motorists and farmers can help prevent crashes and keep Illinois roadways safe this fall. A dry finish to the growing season for farmers around the state is being had. Ron Haas grows corn and soybeans in Iroquois County and gives this update from his end of the field. Dry conditions are continuing this week with above average temperatures through next week. And as the growing season winds down, here's an update from State Ag Pest Survey Coordinator Kelly Estes. You can follow Estes on X. Her handle is at ILPestSurvey. This will conclude the second portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by CNB Bank and Trust.
Farming never takes a day off, and neither should your banking. At CNB Bank and Trust, our regular business checking account lets ag businesses run smoothly, and you'll have anytime, anywhere access with digital banking, bill pay, a debit card, e-statements, even QuickBook upload, so you can focus on harvest, not paperwork, helping farmers do what they do best, grow. Stop by your local branch or visit cnbil.com today. CNB Bank and Trust, helping to open doors since 1854. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home.
This is Chad Sparks. When you lose a loved one, your choice for making final arrangements should be with the compassionate family at Sutton Memorial Homes. They know the death of a loved one is difficult. Austin and Evan at Sutton's and the entire staff have devoted themselves to loving and caring for those in their community in their time of need. You can trust Sutton Memorial Homes to assist your family in making final arrangements that will be a tribute to your loved one. Sutton Memorial Homes, caring is what they do best.
53-year-old Pamela Tennant of Taylorville died on September 5th. Visitation is September 11th from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. A memorial service will follow on September 11th at 7 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Interment will be at Anderson Cemetery in Palmer. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 76-year-old Linda S. Canali of Taylorville died on August 26th. Visitation is September 13th from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Davis Memorial Christian Church in Taylorville. A celebration of life will be held on September 13th at 11:30 a.m. at Davis Memorial Christian Church. Interment will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Paula J. Koonsman of Shelbyville, formerly of Warrensburg, will have a celebration of life being planned for her for October 12th of 2025. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Howe and Yaki Funeral Home in Shelbyville. And 58-year-old Randall or Randy Lee Pertalar of Peoria, formerly of Taylorville, died on August 21st. Memorial visitation will be on September 20th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. Memorial service will be September 20th at 11 a.m. at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. Interment will be at Glen Haven Memorial Gardens. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.